Hi, guys. How is everyone today? So, I was just sitting down to have some breakfast and trying to get back to normal, but having a really challenging time of getting there, but we're getting there slowly. So, listen, I was just looking, just having some, oh, wait a minute. I'm so confused. I'm having some breakfast and I'm looking at the headlines for today, and it seems that Donald Trump wants the Stormy Daniels judgment against him. He was, um, I guess, condemned to pay her. Was he condemned to pay her something? No, he was. He wants to annul the condemnation, right? So he was adjudged guilty of, improprieties, legal improprieties by paying off Stormy Daniels, the adult film star, to shut her up, that they had an affair because, he was running for president in 2016. And so, because Joe Biden extended a presidential pardon to his son Hunter, Trump's attorneys basically are saying um, that Trump should be extended a pardon as a consequence, equally to Biden's son Hunter. Um, that's interesting. I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree that there's a linear connection between the two situations. Um, it's true that I did not follow Hunter Biden's case. I just didn't follow. I heard about it. I knew something was going on, but I wasn't following closely, sort of the way I'm following closely to things now. I wasn't doing that even, 3 months ago. And but I do know of the Stormy Daniels case where, Trump was accused of having his lawyer, Michael something or the other, pay off Stormy Daniels. And then he reimbursed Michael and he said, Michael's my attorney. You have to ask Michael. Remember when he was on the plane? Excuse me, you guys. So then they brought an action against him in New York, I guess the attorney general. And I believe did they adjudicate him guilty, or was it pause? He pronounced that his punishment was indefinitely um, adjourned. So no, I don't think he has yet. He's been adjudicated guilty, but I don't think he has yet received his punishment. So he wants a if not a presidential pardon, because he can't force Biden to pardon him, I don't think. But it seems like he wants the equivalent of a presidential pardon from the court. Um, because he's saying that, well, but Biden pardoned his son, and therefore it means that um, Trump should be pardoned likewise as well. I don't know, you guys, if I agree with that. I would have to ask ChatGPT, but I ask Chat everything. Chat is so brilliant. I go in, I put a question, and I put, I have my own special little things I put in to get the answers I want, obviously, but I love Chat. But I don't know if these two situations are the same. First of all, Joe Biden is president at this time. Donald Trump is not. So he is not entitled to any presidential pardons at all unless the sitting president decides to issue him a presidential pardon. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Now, when Trump becomes president on January, um, is it January 20th? At that point, he's in a position to issue presidential pardons. I don't know that he could issue one to himself, but I think that if that is unprecedented as of now, him and the Supreme Court and the Congress, if necessary, will make it law that a president can pardon himself. And Trump can easily pardon himself then. But the idea that Trump is going to force the court to annul this case against him, this Stormy Daniels case, this was not an official act of a president. This was something that occurred prior to him becoming president for the first time. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's not an official act, and so and he's not president now. So I don't agree with his lawyers on this. I mean, look, I'm not for the lawfare against Trump. I've always said that, Trump is president. I have something to blog about. I like, Trump is interesting. Trump is an interesting man. So, there's that. What do you want me to do? He fascinates me on a level that is just like, what is this? Who is this? How does this man do these things? But the idea that he's going to go into court with a 70-page, petition or whatever it is, and demand to be let off the Stormy Daniels judgment or whatever, and to not be punished because he's not president. I don't know. I don't know. I don't agree from a legal perspective. Right? I think there are other ways that he can achieve the same ends. When he becomes president, he makes it precedent that a president can pardon himself. That's what he has to do. And once he does that, he can pardon himself, and not just to pardon himself, but to pardon himself of both federal and state offenses. Now, that part is going to be difficult because, the federal government by law cannot commandeer the state government. There's a separation there constitutionally, right? But all Trump has to do, and he does have the majority in Congress, is to tweak those parts of the Constitution that don't suit him, which he will do in 2 seconds. We all know that, right? And I think that's how he addresses it. But the idea that he's going to go in there and throw his weight around and say, well, Biden pardoned his son. There's no rule that says Biden can't pardon his son. I think there is precedence even for presidents pardoning family members. Did Trump not pardon the father-in-law of his daughter Ivanka? Ivanka's father-in-law, Mr. Kushner, had done some things, and Trump issued him an official pardon and recently made him the American ambassador to France, coming up in 2025. So there's precedence there for Biden to pardon his son. There is no corresponding obligation on Biden to pardon Trump or anybody that he doesn't want to pardon. If Biden wants to pardon Trump, he can. Richard Nixon was pardoned by Gerald Ford or whoever it was who pardoned him. Don't even ask me. My head is all mixed up right now, but I believe it was Ford who pardoned Nixon, right, for the Watergate situation. So Biden can pardon Trump, but he's not obliged to pardon Trump. And the fact that Biden pardoned Hunter Biden, his son, is not an obligation. It did not create an obligation for either Biden or the courts to pardon Trump for offenses that, in particular, that occurred prior even to him becoming president, right? I don't agree with that. I think it's barefaced. I think it's bold. I think they could get away with it because at this point, I think all the rules are out the window, right? And the idea that, the Democrats are coming down on Biden for pardoning his son. The Democrats are largely, what I'm starting to think about the Democrats. They are a largely spineless group of people. They have no spine because Trump would have done the same thing and they would have said absolutely nothing. Trump won the election and all of his legal troubles went away. I'm not going to sit here moaning and groaning about it because I think a lot of it was lawfare, right? But at the same time, these were legitimate charges that were brought against Trump in a certain sense. He was adjudicated in a court of law guilty of a lot of this stuff. And just by virtue of winning the presidency, all of it went away as if it never even happened, like by osmosis, right? And the Democrats are completely silent about it. They don't dare open their mouths. They don't dare open their mouths. Where are they all? They all went hiding. You see any of them? I mean, I saw Kamala Harris come out to try to do a little whatever with her supporters, and that was brave. That was nice. But largely, none of them are anywhere. Nancy Pelosi is nowhere. They're just gone. They're hiding. They ran to hide, right? Because Trump won, right? They wouldn't dare say anything to Trump about how he got away with all of it. Anyway, listen, I have no problem with Biden pardoning his son and these hyper moral, oh, I'm so moral, I'm a Democrat, I'm so moral. Get over it. Y'all make me completely nauseous with this. Nobody is good. Not one person on this earth is good. And God Himself said that in the Bible. Not one of you is good. So just shut your mouths with this, oh, Biden is so immoral for pardoning his son. He damn straight better pardon his son, because if he didn't, they were going to crucify that man. And y'all know why. I say go Biden. Now, this thing with Trump, I mean, look, again, Trump gets into office and I'm Trump, I pardon myself. But no, I don't agree that, the courts owe him a pardon or that Biden owes him a pardon. The more I talk, the more I can't talk. You guys, anyway, so there's that. So then you have this thing in South Korea where this nut job, with all due respect, I shouldn't be calling a president a nut job, but if he's a nut job, he's a nut job. The man is a nut job. I need water. He apparently ordered martial law in the country, something that has not happened since the 1980s, apparently. Everybody was crapping on themselves. Like, oh my God, you have helicopters flying over the city, people in guns with machine guns, army people, but, the men, mostly men, they push back. It's always the men. This is their world, you see. This is their experience. So they stood up to the president, who has now put himself, hang on a second. So he's basically put himself on the map for being a bad boy, for being like, whoa, what did he just do? But the thing is, it scares me. Like, it scares me because I say to myself, what if Trump did something like that? And the thing is, I don't know about you, but I can't really rule out that this is not going to put ideas in other people's heads, people like Trump. Because Trump has already proposed to use troops to enforce his border policies, right? Including deploying the military inside America, right? Now, some would argue that it's very different from South Korea's president, Yoon Suk Yeol is his name, declaring martial law because, the scope, the legality, the historical precedent, all of that is very different. But I don't know. I'm just like half a dozen and six is the same in the end, right? Because Trump's plan, okay, he's going to get congressional authority and so on. I mean, look, it's all technical. It's all conversation. I think that what this guy did in South Korea is very, very troubling. Of course, it's been reversed, thank God, because the parliament just went at him immediately and put a stop to his madness, you see, because they know where this all leads. You don't stop these people from the first go, right? You stop them immediately, right? Because when you don't, when you don't, my friends, where we all end up, it's not good. It's not good, right? I mean, genocides happen when you don't stand up to people like this. Now, do I think Trump would do something like this? I mean, look, Trump, as I said, is a very fascinating and interesting man. Trump is unpredictable. Trump has a fuse, and when that gets tripped, I don't even think he thinks about it. I mean, you trip his wire, and he's just like, let's drop a nuke on Mexico because I spoke nicely to this woman. I told her to close the borders, right? She comes out and she makes me look like an idiot. I called her again in private. I told her, please close the borders. She didn't. I'm going to drop a nuke on X, Y, and Z in the country to send a message. You trip his wires, right? So would Trump actually, to declare martial law, though, I don't think it would be as simple as, Mexico or even Canada refusing to close their borders or whatever, or stop these people from coming in. Something else would have to happen to trip his wires, but it could be tripped, and when he has his people, you guys, I don't even know at this point. All right, my throat is acting up, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a rest so I can do another video in a few minutes. So that's it for this one. I just wanted to update you on Trump, and yada yada yada. And so see you in the next one, because he's coming to Paris this weekend. So I want to talk about that, and I'll do it in a different video. If you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and help it grow. If you like the content, I know my voice is very low, and today I do have a cold, so it's even worse, but I try my best. I do try my best, you guys. So yeah, definitely subscribe, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, that kind of stuff.